We're coming to you from the Radford Studio Center lot in Studio City, right over the hill from Hollywood. This is the place where dreams are made, legends are born. And welcome to The Lot. I'm Suzanne Marques. We start with the ticket fiasco over the hottest name in entertainment.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. She's laughing up at us from hell.
Demand for Taylor Swift's Eras Tour caused crashes and glitches for Ticketmaster, and that's not even counting the hours wasted online. Demand was so great during the pre-sales, the public sale had to be canceled. So many people were left empty-handed. Taylor Swift herself issued an apology, saying she was promised the ticket seller could handle the demand. But it was so major, she would have had to play 900 stadium shows. Her tour has 52 dates and kicks off in March, ending in LA in August. Swifties are wondering why her new album, Midnights, was snubbed by the Grammys this week. It turns out it just didn't meet the submission deadline. It's not a total loss, though. She landed 4 nods, including Song of the Year for All Too Well, the 10-minute song and short film. Here's a look at the other nominees. Kim Petras celebrated her first Grammy nod for her collaboration with Sam Smith on Unholy.
Dirty, dirty boy. You know everyone is talking on the scene.
They're up for Best Pop Duo Group Performance. She posted to her Instagram stories writing, "So we Grammy nominated Sammy."
A moment like this.
She then posted a picture of a black pug with the lyrics to Kelly Clarkson's A Moment Like This.
Like this.
As the names were read, Brazilian singer and songwriter Anitta celebrated her Best New Artist nomination. Kelsey Ballerini recorded the moment she found out she's a Grammy nominee too. Her song Heart First is up for Best Country Solo Performance. Maren Morris twirled in the sand with a glass of champagne to celebrate her 3 Grammy nods. Leading the pack with 9 is Beyoncé with her song Break My Soul. She's now tied with her husband Jay-Z for the most nominated music act in history, with 88 nominations for each spouse.
Should I feel regret about the good that I was into?
Kendrick Lamar earned 8 nominations, the second most this year. He's up for Album of the Year along with ABBA, Adele, Bad Bunny, Mary J. Blige, Brandi Carlile, Coldplay, Lizzo, and Harry Styles. The former One Direction star earned 6 for his song As It Was and the album Harry's House. And the Recording Academy added 5 new categories for songwriting, poetry, gaming soundtracks, and live performances. The Grammys are set for Sunday, February 5th of next year here in LA at the Crypto.com Arena, broadcasting live on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
The world is a vampire.
Ooh, one of my favorite songs. 2 of rock's most monumental bands have joined forces for the Spirits on Fire tour, Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction. Jane's lead singer Perry Farrell talked to me before their Hollywood Bowl show about how their tour came together and got really emotional about his friends.
Señores y señoras, Juana's Adicción.
To see everybody out and about, shaking their booties, and they're just raring to go. It's really like the Roaring '20s all over again.
The 2020s are making a comeback. After the quiet of the pandemic, Jane's Addiction returned to Lollapalooza last year. Then another 90s rock star came calling.
I got a call from Billy Corgan, and he wanted to go out on tour with us. It's just been a highlight in my life, to be honest with you.
Both bands alt-rock pioneers. Jane's live shows were performance art, with Perry owning the mic. Guitarist Dave Navarro performing intricate solos with bassist Eric Avery and drummer Stephen Perkins. Most of the band is back together for this tour.
We're on limited time here. I'm going to be 60. I'm going to be 70 in 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
So I got to get this show on the road, man. If I'm going to do it, I got to do it now.
And how's Dave doing? Because you mentioned COVID. I have so many friends who have been affected, lost colleagues to it. Is he doing okay?
You know, the fact that he's not with us indicates to me that he's at the best okay.
Perry is also getting over the loss of one of his best friends, drummer Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters. Perry performed with Taylor on drums at Lollapalooza, Chile earlier this year.
Can we talk about the late, great Taylor Hawkins, who, was so revered and still celebrated?
Yeah, I mean, you just want to hug him. Just want to hug him. It's hard to talk about him. Taylor Hawkins is one of the greatest men I've ever met. I hope I see him again.
Some good memories between them. Perry says he leans on his family when times get tough. A group of friends who are as close as family are living the only way they know how, honestly and confidently, as L Word Generation Q returns to Showtime and Paramount+.
I
want to have a baby, but I don't want to push you into something that you're not ready for.
Season 3 of L Word Generation Q dives deeper into relationships than ever before.
This season, it was really fun to explore these characters figuring out who they really are and making decisions that they wouldn't normally make. And I think that's where the audience will really attach and find the fun in watching these characters do things that they've never done before. So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, everybody kind of grows up and is like more active in their own story, which I love to see.
Looking more at the future too and seeing what people want to do with their lives. Who are they really? What is it that they want to achieve and accomplish and dream about?
Do I just tell you about the tsunami of depression that kicked my ass?
Rosie O'Donnell is returning for Season 3. The show is jam-packed with guest stars. We can reveal Margaret Cho and Kehlani.
Our guest stars are so strong this season that you get a little taste of people and you're like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about that person. Who are they? What are they doing? What is their life like? So it kind of like opens up the world a little bit more of like queer LA.
It's the kind of sapphic chaos I live for.
Russell Crowe is gambling on his new movie, Poker Face.
$25 million on the table. Who are these guys?
Russell Crowe co-wrote, directs, and stars in a thriller about a high-stakes poker game between childhood friends. And streaming services are jumping right past Thanksgiving and getting into the Christmas spirit. Coming up, holiday shows and movies streaming now.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
It sure is feeling a lot like Christmas, and we haven't even had Thanksgiving. The Santa Clauses is streaming now on Disney+. Tim Allen reprises his role as Scott Calvin, a.k.a. Santa Claus. Elizabeth Mitchell also returns as Mrs. Claus, and this time around, Santa's magic is dwindling as Christmas loses popularity. Santa is considering stepping down and finding a successor, and also wants to focus on the family.
There was this little sick kid. What did they call him?
It was Tiny Tim.
No. Sweet kid, one crutch.
No.
Little Larry.
No, Tiny Tim.
Micro Mike, super small Steve.
Will Farrell and Ryan Reynolds star in Spirited, now streaming on Apple+. Farrell plays the ghost of Christmas past to Ryan Reynolds' Scrooge in this latest reinvention of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Octavia Spencer gets in on the fun in this comedic musical by the creatives who did La La Land. Spirited is out now.
Oh, life moves fast. One day you're playing kick the can with kids named Flick and Schwartz.
I triple dog dare you!
And the next thing you know, you're a certified adult.
And on HBO Max, it's A Christmas Story Christmas. Ralphie Parker is all grown up and returning to his childhood home in the long-awaited sequel to the 1980s cult classic. Several of the actors from the original return, including Peter Billingsley in his iconic role as Ralphie. In the sequel, Ralphie now has his own family, which he brings home for the holidays. Perhaps playing off the timing of the release of the sequel, the home used in the original Christmas Story film is up for sale. Located in Cleveland, Ohio, the Bumpus House Museum and a detached garage home that houses a 1939 Ford LaFrance fire truck like the one in the film are all included. The owner purchased the home on eBay for $150,000 way back in 2004. The list price currently unknown. Tours and overnight stays that have been scheduled will continue at this time. One more holiday special now streaming on Apple TV, starring some of my favorite Muppets, along with David Diggs of Hamilton fame and Fraggle Rock Back to the Rock. It's the night of the lights, the most Fraggly holiday of the year, and the Rock is filled with songs and cheer. I talked to Uncle Traveling Matt. He's the only Fraggle who has traveled to Earth, which they call outer space.
I'm feeling very hungry when two silly creatures joined me. They began to eat an interesting pink food. They chewed and chewed and chewed. It must have been very tough. But when hunger calls, one cannot be choosy.
I'm not just any Fraggle. I'm an explorer. I'm the explorer. I'm the only one who goes into outer space. And it's a wonderful privilege to be in this position. And what I do is I see things. I see people like you, all of these silly creatures, and I write postcards back to my nephew in Fraggle Rock, and he learns about the world that way.
This snack was certainly chewy, but it tasted delicious.
What's it like talking to somebody from outer space?
Well, it's always tough because, silly creatures are, so silly. What is that behind you? I see a very interesting display going on.
They're the northern lights here in outer space.
I've seen something like that before. That's beautiful. Is that in your cave?
It is. That's why I was trying to make you feel at home.
Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you so much, Suzanne.
Well, I grew up watching the Fraggles from outer space, and I always wondered what Doozer construction tastes like.
Doozer construction has a faintly radish flavor, but it's crunchier, and it has its own, I don't know, I think they add lemon or something to it. Delicious, delicious. Maybe a little sugar. Who knows?
I always imagined it as sugar sticks, like we would call here in outer space. So it's nice to know that there's some health components with the radishes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Well, Suzanne, that was a very good question. Thank you. Made me a little hungry, a little peckish.
Me too.
Oh! So gather round that close around each warm embrace.
Fun for the whole family. Russell Crowe opens up to me about how losing someone close to him shaped his latest role and invited some of his closest friends along to co-star in Poker Face.
I'm Jake Foley. I'm 57. And I'm a gambler.
In Poker Face, Russell Crowe is a tech billionaire with a shocking secret. He invites his friends for a high-stakes game of Texas Hold'em.
I poisoned you.
No, that's not funny.
I did ask a lot of questions. I never got any satisfactory answers. In real life, my father passed away. So I was in that place, looking for the sort of answers to those things that you ask when you're in that situation of losing a parent. How do you go on from here? Where somebody who's been such a constant in your life simply will not be available to you anymore. And thinking, that if he had known, what would have he thought about to say to people, because he died suddenly of a heart attack on a plane, he didn't get a chance to actually have a plan for it, so to speak, So, yeah, real life and the extremity of the situation and the impossibility of saying yes to the job in the form that it was in at the time. All of these things sort of play into it, but, cinema is a very resilient medium, and you can push at it in lots of different ways. So I just kept pushing at it until I felt like it meant something.
25 million on the table. Who are these guys?
The film takes the viewer on an emotional journey with a core group of close friends.
This is another one of your surprises, Jake.
They don't know where we are.
Let's go.
The stakes go even higher when thieves break into the compound.
You co-wrote it, you directed it. Did you include some of your friends? Because these are incredible actors and you guys have such great chemistry.
Yeah, it ends up, there's, quite a few people in the cast that I have very long relationships with. There's one guy, Steve Bastoni, and we did theatre together in 1987 in Melbourne. Our connection starts, and Liam Hemsworth, I just worked with his brother, Chris, on Thor, Love and Thunder, and he'd visited the set, and in conversation I realized that this kid's really got something going, and so I just said, listen, how about the challenge of we age you up 20 years and you got to learn to walk like you don't have tendons anymore. And he was up for the challenge. He was fantastic, and I met Elsa Pataki, and I threw her the challenge of learning how to riffle a set of cards, and she sent me a video done on a phone with her sitting on a fence on a horse paddock, going crazy with the cards. They're like, you're in. So that's, I got really lucky.
Cheers, lads.
Pretzel.
Really?
Even gonna have some mustard.
Up next, all of the stars of Blue's Clues meet in New York for a musical adventure the entire family will enjoy.
Merry Christmas.
Come on, it's
I don't know what to say.
for a sleigh ride together with you.
Me neither.
Outside the snow,
You're beautiful.
friends are calling you.
He got my ring, I got his present.
New York, check. Romance, check. A good old holiday mix-up, also check. The trailer for Prime Video's Something from Tiffany's was just released, and it's sure to bring on some Christmas magic. The film stars Zoe Deutsch, Kendrick Sampson, and Ray Nicholson. Grab a glass of wine and curl up with a cozy blanket. Something from Tiffany's will be released on Prime Video December 9th. Fans of Blue's Clues, young and old, listen up. 26 years after the show launched, all three stars of the show team up for a New York City trip in Blue's Big City Adventure.
Run away. Run away.
Blue's Clues in New York City.
Blue's Big City Adventure follows Josh on the opportunity of a lifetime to audition for Rainbow Puppy's Broadway musical. It's the perfect fit because in real life, Josh is a Broadway star.
I was at Aladdin on Broadway, and we're a family in that cast, and so we'd help each other get ready for auditions. But then word got out that I was getting ready for Blue's Clues, and I was running sides with my buddy Jamie. Jamie, I owe you so much. And they were like, "Wait, you're auditioning for Blue's Clues?" And then we all just started singing the Mail song.
The mail's here. I can't believe I get to sing this song.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me wanna wag my tail. When it comes, I wanna wail.
There's lots of nostalgia in this movie. Steve and Joe both make appearances.
Pretzel.
Really?
Even gonna have some mustard. How are you? Good to see you.
Being able to watch the Josh character and Blue come out into the real world is fantastic. But then behind the scenes, watching it happen, watching the movie being made itself, I got to watch people just happen upon Josh on the street, and they'd be like, what? You got to see, it really does affect people emotionally.
And New York City is also a main character.
It reminded me of, On the Town with Frank Sinatra, that beautiful movie.
The first movie ever that was filmed on location in New York City. That's it. I mean, that's the throwback.
New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the Battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York.
That film was one of the ones that managed to get Frank and Gene in front of every single iconic, spot in New York.
Boo, have you seen my handy dandy notebook?
Josh and Blue scour New York for the lost handy dandy notebook, which has the address of the audition with Rainbow Puppy, voiced by Brianna Bryan.
Blue, we are definitely not in storybook world anymore.
what's it like just playing this beloved character?
Oh my gosh, it's like you said, beloved. Like for me too. I think it's just such a great opportunity for me, and it's really full circle is what it is. But I'm just grateful to be the voice of her and to be able to speak the things that she wants to say, because really that's what it comes down to.
You can do anything that you want to do.
That's what we always say. A clue.
Follow that voice and follow that bark.
So adorable. Coming up, he often plays the bad boy in movies. Now he's found incredible success as an artist. Billy Zane has mastered several mediums, and before he heads to Art Basel in Miami, he shows off his Titanic talents in Santa Monica.
You can hold the frame.
I'll touch from afar. Award-winning actor and artist Billy Zane started painting on the set of the film Titanic. 26 years later, he is an accomplished artist across a variety of mediums, and he gave me a tour of his latest collection, currently on display at Bergamot Station Art Center.
You will never behave like that again, Rose. Do you understand?
In Titanic, Billy Zane plays the villain, Cal, a snob who hates artists like Picasso.
God, not those finger paintings again. They certainly were a waste of money.
In real life, he couldn't be more different. His latest collection is now showing at the Speedy Gallery in Santa Monica. The title of the exhibition is Action.
My style is abstract expressionism for the most part. Action painting, that's the name of the show, which also correlates with the day job. Of course, we've heard that phrase on set more than a few times.
Billy has mastered the alchemy of several mediums, from machine art.
This, in fact, is part of a B-17. It's a solid, beautiful, solid piece of aluminum.
To delicate drawings. It's all in the name of joyous improvisation and sustainability. He turns things some would throw away into collectibles, like this rug he owned, then painted, airplane parts and coffee bags.
This is a coffee bag from Guatemala. Yes,
You make a lot of
I have to drink all the coffee before I can put it up.
What's thrilling about his art is he invites you to touch and interact with his work.
You're not allowed not to touch my painting, so please, by all means, get in.
It makes me nervous.
No, get out of here.
I want to hold the frame.
It's really fun. You can hold the frame.
I'll touch from
Let's
afar.
touch really. There's some laminate. We did this in Albuquerque, New Mexico. At a wonderful B&B called the Desert Compass. Can you reach that?
Yeah.
It's called Sun Gold.
Beautiful.
This paint I actually bought.
Do you like that I paint? Because you do have a painting where you
Well,
can
yeah, we
paint
have
it.
some Easter eggs. You know, you're allowed to, when you get into it, you find things. This is a very Caribbean-themed and island-themed room. That's called Jean Canoe, which is the name of the carnival in the Bahamas. As referred to in Thunderball, I think. That's what inspired me. But if you get into it, you start looking at all this repurposed old canvas. It's more colorful than my usual stuff. You realize it's loose, and if you go a little farther, you go, what the? There's an Easter egg painting. You get a 2 for 1.
He can act, he does art. What can't he do? Well, stay tuned for Thanksgiving week. I'm sitting down with Garth Brooks to discuss the music legend's upcoming Vegas residency, as well as his holiday plans, and dig into the rivalry between Ferrucci Lamborghini and Enzo Ferrari with actor Frank Grillo, the star of Lamborghini, the man behind the legend. I'm Suzanne Marques. See you next week on The Lot.